Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi,
Greetings.
everybody. Welcome back. Welcome. Greetings for the first time if you're brand new here. This is another episode of Don't Blame Me, where we, two wonderful genius smarty pants, give you life-changing, life-altering, quantum leaping advice.
Did you watch Quantum Leap back in the 90s?
No, but I did audition for the reboot.
Yeah.
That's like, I will make references to TV shows. Mom will be like, oh, did you watch it? I go, no, I auditioned for the reboot.
I was obsessed with it as like a 5-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
And
seems cool.
there was this other show called Morning Edition where Kyle Chandler, he would get tomorrow's paper that day. So like he would get tomorrow's
Okay.
paper the next day. So he would like go around and try to like crime fight and fix things. So
Mhm.
then it wouldn't make it to the actual paper.
Now, what about the lottery?
That was one of the rules. He couldn't do it.
I
I
fucking hate those like
Wait.
caveat rules.
Was it that, or was it that he could? I don't remember. Again, I was like 5, but I think it was either he couldn't play or he could do it under a certain amount. Like it, like let's
Who
say,
comes up with these rules?
if it was like the local lottery and
Yeah.
he could do it at a low amount. But you gotta think about it. He can't ball out, because every day he could be a new millionaire. So he's got to live in moderation.
Oh, I guess you're right. So wait, so his only power was he just got the newspaper a day early?
Mhm.
If I found out that like that was my power, I'd be like,
I mean, it wasn't like an actual superpower. A cat would show up at his door and go, "Meow," and then the newspaper would be there.
see, I would probably just ignore it if it was me. I'd just be like,
But you
I'm not
weren't the
messing with
chosen
this
one.
shit. No, and that's why I wouldn't be
You
chosen.
wouldn't be chosen.
It's so funny. I literally was like, why does his name sound familiar? Mats and I watched Game Night this past weekend, and he's in Game Night. And I told Mats, I was like, I love you to death. This needs to be the last time we watch this movie. It stresses me out. It's like the perfect recipe of a movie that stresses me the fuck out. Doesn't stress me out as much as The Hangover, but it's pretty close.
I remember exactly where I was when I saw that movie for the first time. And like, it sits with me.
The
It is-
movie.
yes.
It's
like, it does. It is.
changes your psyche.
It does.
It's like Interstellar, but for your like, what are your adrenals? What are the things that like control like stress hormones?
Yeah.
Your cortisol. It's so stressful.
It is. It is.
Where were you?
I mean, I was in my apartment, the upstairs one.
Yeah.
And it was during the pandemic.
Mm.
And I was just sitting there.
Heart
like,
racing,
what is going
sweating.
on?
I know. I saw it in theaters.
And I was like, I thought I was coming in for a hee ha ha.
No. There's Fabergé eggs, FBI wanted, like undercover list, and people just dying. It's so fucking stressful. Rachel McAdams is fantastic in it, but like it is my worst nightmare. Like you're doing like a haha, we love trivia night, we love like game night, we're doing a fake murder mystery kind of thing, and like psych, turns out it's real.
But it is very good.
No, it's really fucking good. And that's why it stresses me out so much. Like, I believe it. I'm like, this is painful. But I've decided that I think that has to be the last time I watch it. I was like,
how many times have you seen it?
Twice. But it's just, I just don't think I can do it again.
Okay.
Like, I was like, this is just, it's hard. But he was in it. And I was like, what else is he in? And I looked up, I was like, he's in everything.
He's in a lot of things. He's been a working actor for years.
He's funny though. And
he's funny and can do drama.
Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't do as many comedy stuff, but he's a funny guy. Maybe we'll forgive him for having two first names.
Well, that's not his fault. That's his parents' fault.
Well, maybe not, because a lot of actors, they choose a stage name.
That is true. Let's see.
Kyle Martin Chandler. He could have been Kyle Martin. His middle name is a last name.
I was going to say all of his names are firsty last names.
Martin. Oh,
Martin
oh my God.
can be
Martin
a first name.
Yeah. Oh, so he was doomed from the start.
Yeah.
It is his parents' fault. Definitely has not held him back though.
No, not at all.
On this podcast, we will be changing hearts, minds, lives, souls, and whatever else we can.
I was trying to think of what
like diapers.
What the saying is from Friday Night Lights. It's like,
oh, Mott's could
eyes tight, fist out, something, hearts alive.
Fuck. This movie is camp. Like
it's not just it's a
camp.
TV show too.
No. The fact that they've expanded it like a movie into like a literal whole TV universe.
Michael B. Jordan was in it.
It's campy as hell. It's so fucking camp. And they have these like impassioned football speeches when all the men are like shirtless in like the locker room and they're all like slapping.
Say boys because they're in high school.
The actors are, are they like child actors? Okay. Because to me, I go, in order to look believable to play football, you got to be a little older.
Have you seen high school boys who play football? They are massive.
That's what I'm saying. But like, the idea of like actors, you're going to have to get, it's not a huge crossover of actors who are also played football in high school. Like, it's usually more theater kids.
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. I wasn't that off.
Mox would have been able to give you that in 0.5 seconds. Anytime I like have like a random like combination of words, he'll just like launch into like, oh, it sounds like and he's like something laugh like I don't want your, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but once again, never seen movies or TV show. It's just part of the zeitgeist.
I should watch it. He'll love it. That's like a guaranteed to make him cry movie. That's like a Mott's like, I just need to cry. He'll just put on like that one speech from the movie, and I'm like, okay, let's move through this. Anyways, if you want to be on an upcoming episode, we will take your call, but we'll take your voicemail or your voice memo. So if you are based in the United States, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. International callers, you can send us an audio message at meganpodcast@gmail.com. So you have 3 minutes to get out everything you need to say. And the best way to do that is to write down what you need our help with, what you need our advice on. Put everything down. It will be anonymous. Include your age. Don't include your like name or anything like that. And tell us the whole shebang, the whole story. Give us the references. If you're like, we've got all this beef, me and this person, and I can't even get into the history. We need you to get into like enough of the history so we can have a well-rounded character.
When I was in high school, we had to get up and give speeches in communications class. They had to be 3 minutes long. And that seemed like forever. Like it was a lot. And so I feel like 3 minutes is easy.
It's easy when you write it down because you don't have the spaces to be like, oh, and then, or you repeat or whatever. Like when you write it down and you read it, I promise you have more than enough time. And if you want to listen to some previous episodes to kind of get a sense of how the other calls sound, please do, because we can only give you the best advice based on the information you give us. And if you don't want us to infer the wrong thing, you got to give us that right thing. So you don't leave room for us to infer. Because we'll do it anyway. I will. It has to be 18 or over, have your parents' permission. I think that's the whole shebang.
Shall we get into the episode?
Let's do it.
Hi, Meghan and Melisa. So I'm just going to jump right in because it's kind of a lot. The story involves me, Sarah, 22-year-old she, her, my sister, Emma, 30-year-old she, her, and Ava, 22-year-old she, her. In 2019, I left home for my freshman year of college. I decided to use this time as an opportunity to stop being friends with my best friend since kindergarten. Her name is Ava. I made this decision because Ava and I had kind of a toxic friendship, and in our senior year, I kind of just became fed up with her behavior. She had a tendency to make everything about herself and made me feel like the only reason I had friends was because of her, and also somehow made all of my accomplishments about her. Our goals and our morals just didn't align anymore. I think we were just naturally growing apart at this time, and I used leaving for college as an opportunity to ghost her. Once I left for college, Ava started working with my sister Emma. Because they started working together, they became very close and became best friends themselves. Some backstory on my sister and I's relationship is that she and I have a big age gap, so we've never really been that close. And as I got older, I felt like we were becoming better friends and had more in common. I've always wanted to have a good relationship with my sister, but she's made that very difficult over the years because of her complex relationship with our mom. Ava and Emma's friendship was very hurtful to me because I kind of saw it as a betrayal from my sister. I would see them posting on social media, or people from my high school would send me pictures of them asking me why they were friends and telling me it was weird. I unfollowed Ava on all social media at this time. I've tried to keep my feelings about the relationship to myself because I really don't want to make it about me, and I feel as though if I tell my sister it bothers me, she'll just tell Ava. But it breaks my heart when I see them together, because why can my sister have such a great relationship with Ava but not with me? It's been multiple years now of their friendship, and it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. My question to you is, do you have any advice as to how to not let this bother me? I feel like it's hard to move forward with a relationship with my sister while she's friends with someone who I don't want in my life anymore. Do you think there's a way for me to have a relationship with my sister despite their friendship? I don't know. Maybe I'm being crazy. This has just bothered me for way too long, and I had to call you. I love you guys. Been listening to you since I was like 14, and I'm 22 now. So you guys are like my actual big sisters, and I love you. So I think that's all my time. But bye.
Here's the thing. They probably get along because you weren't close to either one of them. And so there's probably the characteristics in them that you don't like.
Yeah.
Are probably characteristics that mesh well for them to be friends.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're not, did you tell your sister why you weren't going to be friends with Ava anymore? It's Ava, right?
Yeah.
Did you tell your sister why you didn't want to be friends with Ava anymore and explain like you were ending the friendship? Like if they were just working together and Ava and Emma have no clue as to why you were actually ending the friendship, then, you know, you work close to someone, you spend a lot of time with them, then like, did you expect them to be enemies at work?
Yeah.
Or maybe just like not become friends. It seems like they're super close now, but like I don't think it's that weird that they're friends. If you don't like either one of them.
Yeah. Well, no, she likes her sister, but they're just not close, and she wishes they were closer. But I think you needed to convey,
she likes her sister, but they have issues because the sister
has issues with their mom.
Yeah. And so like, it just might be like y'all just aren't compatible as friends. But like you can have a relationship with your sister that isn't like a close friendship.
Yeah. I think like, I mean, it really depends on like what the issues your sister has with your mom, because you do have a big age gap. So you probably if that is also your sister's mom, you were raised by different moms. Mm-hmm. And so if you really want to have a relationship with your sister, and what's stopping and kind of getting in the way of that is your sister has a really strained relationship with your mom, like then you have to be like, okay, then what am I going to do about that? Like, you can't ask someone who has a strained relationship with someone else to be like, well, I'm fine with them, so I need you to like like you have to have a conversation. Like, you can't just have one person meet you where you are. Like, you both have to compromise.
It's kind of the same thing. It's like she has a strange relationship with her mom.
God, you
have a strange relationship with your friend that you had since kindergarten.
Yeah.
So it kind of
yeah, no, it's pretty parallel. You're right. Like, you just have to communicate. And as a ghoster, there's something important when it comes to ghosting, where if it's not an awkward ghost, if it's like I'm really fucking done with you, if it's a cutout ghost, then it can't be a ghosting situation to the people who you're close to. Like, they need to know why, they need to know the reasoning. Like, I've ghosted people, and like Melissa knows, and it's like, we both are like, okay, we get it. It's not like, oh, I ghosted this person and then I've eluded from everybody else, or like nobody else like knows what happens, because then you don't really have, it puts you in a position like this where it's like you can't control the narrative at this point. Like, it feels a little odd. And if it is important to you that the people you're close with aren't friends with someone or don't associate with someone, like,
as a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
That's totally fine, but they need to know that ahead of time, and they can also still make their own choices. And then from there, it's not like, well, I forbid you from seeing them. It's like, okay, well, then my boundary is I'm not going to be friends with this person anymore. So I don't think this is odd that it bothers you.
Yeah, I think it's totally normal that it bothers you.
It's two people who you feel let down by, one in like a sister relationship, one in a friendship, and then you're seeing that they're getting along really well, and it can feel really random. But I think Melissa's right. Like, if to the crux of it that they're just like very different people than you, then what they're bonding over and what they really have in common is probably the traits that you don't like. And or sometimes, like, I know this isn't like always a comforting feeling to some people, but like, someone can be like a horrible friend or a horrible partner, and it's not because of who you are. It's because of how the relationship is. Like, you're not compatible. So then they might not be a horrible friend to somebody else, but that doesn't mean that you should change yourself to be like that other person. It's like life telling you, like, oh, you're not compatible. Don't change yourself so you are compatible with this person. Like, this is the sign, this is the omen, like, this is the indicator that this is not right. And we shouldn't be molding ourselves to fit every relationship, because every relationship will be different. So there's a chance that she's a better friend to Emma, and Emma is a better like older sister figure to her, and that it can feel like that has something to do with you, but it doesn't. Like, and I do think that when people choose to be good people to a selective number of people, I don't view that as like true goodness. Like, as like, oh, I'm a really great person, but I'm only going to be nice. I'm a really nice person, but I'm only going to be nice to these people. I'm like, okay, so that's like a selective thing that like, there's either issues that they also have on their side where it's a strained relationship, not just in your eyes, or they're not the people you want to be friends with or be close to.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's, for me, it's not like them choosing to be nice or whatever.
Yeah.
It can just be like, you said that you and Ava have different morals and values, and maybe Ava and Emma have like similar morals and values. So like for them, it makes more sense for them to have a friendship, where with you, it doesn't.
Yeah, because like my thing is like, if someone's like in the idea of like choosing to be nice when it's like not your character, then it's like, okay, either they align in morals or one of them is pretending they don't. And then I'm like, okay, like I don't view that as a positive trait, even though on paper it might be like, oh, like we align now. It goes, but I know that's actually not the truth. You haven't changed your mind or whatever. So like for me, I would always rather like someone be genuine, whether that's I like who they are or I don't like who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think right now you're looking at this of they're getting along
in spite of you.
Yeah. And to you, you're viewing this as a kind of like a universal act where it's like, well, I assume in the ways they've let me down, they're not letting each other down. But it's either they haven't set that expectation, so they're not letting each other down in that instance, or they're mutually letting each other down, or they just, it's social media and you're not like seeing all of those parts to it. And I would without a doubt feel like betrayed in this sense. But in order to, I think, truly get a grasp on this more, I think you're romanticizing your sister. Like, I think you're having this like hands-off kind of view and relationship of like what you wanted your relationship to be, and that she's the one who's choosing not to do that. And if that's really the case, if like her beef with your mom and stuff, like if she's the awful one in the situation, I don't think that you would want to have a relationship with her. Like, I think you're yearning to have a relationship with her is because you do like her as a person, and you're recognizing that the only real strain there is the relationship with your mom, and that's not turning you against her. So I think you do know that there's like some merit there to it, but you just might not be ready to figure out what the compromise is there and how you view your mom and how she views your mom and what the relationship is like moving forward. Because right now it's not moving forward because I don't think there's any sort of recognition and compromise. And it can be on both sides. Like that, you know, I've got people in my life where like we have very different relationships with certain people. And like I draw a very hard boundary with it. And it's like, if you're not going to respect that boundary, I'm gonna dip out. But you have to communicate all of this, because also like your sister did your sister know that you're like, I really wanted to like get closer and have a better relationship with her? And then if she knew that, and she knew that you had all of these issues with your friend,
then that's the problem.
Yeah. And I don't think that you did that because you're still like, you're feeling hurt by it. And it's a little bit easier and I'm like this sometimes, where it's like, I don't want to ask for something or tell someone something because that can make it feel like not as genuine, or it can feel like forced or something. Like I want people to do something on their own accord, but we're the center of our own universe. Everyone else is the center of their own universe. And so without knowing that we're hurting someone, if I'm going to be an asshole to someone, I would prefer to do it on purpose. I would prefer to like have someone know that I'm doing that. And I think highly of people who will tell me like, oh, that. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. Yes, I didn't mean to do that. And now you've told me I can course correct or change that up, or give me the opportunity to not disappoint you. And I think it'll continue to build resentment if you're not honest with the people in your life.
I think you got to communicate too. I mean, if you don't want to have a relationship with Ava at all, then like you don't have to tell her anything. But with Emma, you need to, because you want things from her. You don't want anything from Ava. So yeah, just be true.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Truthful.
Yeah. And like people will disappoint you whether or not you give them the opportunity to or not. And not giving them that opportunity doesn't prevent them from disappointing you. And she disappointed you here and she didn't even know. And I think this is...
Well, we don't know if she doesn't. Did she say that she doesn't know why they're not friends? That Emma doesn't know why they're not friends anymore?
I think she said that. I would assume so, because if Emma did know, there would be some animosity towards Emma, not just a continued longing for a relationship. Yeah. So I just think if you communicate more, it's definitely scary and it's hard, but the answer at the end of the day will be the same whether or not you ask it at the start or you see the results of the aftermath. All that you gain there is the time to process and prepare yourself for a potential hurt, you know?
Yeah.
As opposed to getting your hopes up and then having it kind of crumble. Like you got to get in the driver's seat of this. But yeah, I this would without a doubt, like I'm coming at this from like a objective third party perspective. Without a doubt, this would bother the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm thinking about if my sisters befriended people that they knew I disliked. I'd be so mad. So fucking mad.
No, like I reposted something on my Instagram story. No, I reposted it on TikTok and you texted me and you were just like, oh, I've got beef with this person. And I go, I'm unreposting it. Like, I didn't even ask Melissa like what happened. I was immediately just
petty
like,
beef. Like, so petty.
Here's the thing. I don't care.
But you didn't care.
I don't care. I'm like, oh, fucking dead to me. Like, that's just truly like this whole thing of like, oh, I'm just like unobjective. Then I'm like, so how much stake do you put into your friendships and like the choosing the people you are friends with? Because I'm like, no, you tell me we have to jump off this bridge. I go, I'm fucking there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't think everyone's like that with friends.
Yeah,
like,
everybody's not. Some people are able to navigate, straddling the lines and things. But I'm a all or nothing.
No, me fucking too. There's only a couple things I struggle. On that note.
All right, we're going to take a break.
And we're back. And it's time for the rest of the calls.
Hi, Meghan and Melisa. I'm a 19-year-old college freshman, and I use she/her pronouns. This past Sunday was my 19th birthday, and I had a party Saturday night and then a brunch picnic Sunday afternoon, both of which I had been planning for months. I have 3 roommates, and I invited the boyfriend, Nick, he, him, of one of them, Jenny, she, her. Jenny and Nick met through my girlfriend, Ellie, any pronouns. So I thought it was a good idea to invite him, as he's close with one of my best friends and my girlfriend. Over the last few months, a lot of comments he has made has rubbed me the wrong way. He tends to victimize himself as a straight white man in today's society, and he once talked about how he thinks it's annoying when people a part of the LGBTQ plus community make being gay their whole personality, which I personally think is never okay for a straight cis person to say. For context, all of my roommates and I are bi or pan, which includes Jenny, and most of my friends that were at my party are a part of the LGBTQ plus community. About 30 minutes into my birthday party on Saturday night, he stepped out to get some air for a reason I am not aware of, and then soon after, Jenny and him were talking in the hallway for a while, and basically were in and out of my room all night and missed over half of my party. The next morning at brunch, where he had at some point went to sit under a tree for half of it, I went back to our rooms, and then shortly afterwards, I got a text from Nick to the group chat with everyone that was at the brunch that he had some things he wanted to say to us. And then he proceeded to text the group chat 4 long paragraphs, and I will read you some of the highlights. I think going forward, I'm going to be spending less time here. I keep trying to belong to this group, but I think I'm trying too hard. We're just very different people. I'm proud of the effort I made with all of you, especially because I'm proud to have become close with people I wouldn't have imagined seeking out a year ago. And what kills me is that all of this is coinciding with, insert my name here's birthday. I still want to be friends with many of you. I need some time away to figure out how to be more comfortable with being myself around you all. I have since learned that he has been uncomfortable with some of the jokes my roommates and I make towards each other, as we often joke about sex. However, he has never brought this up to any of us directly, which could have prevented all of this from happening. I still don't totally understand what exactly we have done that has made him upset, but if he had told me and my roommates, we would have obviously changed our behavior around him. What I need advice on is how do I approach interactions with him going forward, as I am still very upset about this whole thing. Nick and Jenny have a dick appointment in our room later this week, and so I'm not sure if we're going to actually see him afterwards or what, because usually he stays longer afterwards to hang out. I also don't know if I should tell Jenny that this is bothering me, as she has not acknowledged any of it to me since the party. But anyways, thank you for any help you can give me. Bye.
My question is, and I I'm not trying to be mean, but why are you putting so much effort into being friends with somebody that doesn't want to be friends?
My question is, so he's uncomfortable with the sexual jokes. Is it the sexual jokes that you and your girlfriend were... So he's just homophobic?
Yes.
Okay, so that's like, I think
he
that's...
says he's uncomfortable around
all of you, and you've said most of us aren't straight.
Yes.
And the sexual jokes, like, so unless I missed that, like, were people who have previously slept with his girlfriend making sexual jokes about having slept with his girlfriend? Because to me, that's the only
reason to be.
Yeah. And like,
it's like, and he's saying a year ago he wouldn't have been friends with y'all. Like,
the whole
he's
coded message is
homophobic.
homophobic. And
I don't even think it's that coded.
No. But like the caller didn't explicitly say he's homophobic, but he's I'm saying that the one way that this wouldn't be homophobic to me is if people were making sexual jokes about how they had slept with his in front of him and that made him uncomfortable. But his message is not that. It's, I'm homophobic and I thought I could handle it, but I can't. And I should be getting a gold star because I'm doing, you don't even know, last year me, like, could never have done this. Like, and this is just too much. So point blank, like, you treat him and you deal with him like you do any other homophobic bigot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it seems, if I heard you correctly, Jenny is his girlfriend and Jenny is one of your roommates. And Jenny hasn't spoken to you about this. You have no relationship with this man. You have a relationship with Jenny.
And you only invited him because he's Jenny's boyfriend.
Yeah. If Jenny hasn't reached out to you to talk about this I don't view as a friendship issue. This I view as a roommate issue, because having a roommate whose boyfriend is homophobic is very different than having a friend whose boyfriend who's homophobic, because one of them puts your like personal safety and comfortability that you don't opt in to your living situation. Like, you have to leave your house, as opposed to like a friendship where you're going to go hang out with someone. This is not that. So I think I wouldn't even deal with him. I would approach her in a roommate situation of like, this makes me supremely uncomfortable.
Yeah. And then he had to announce his departure from half the friend
so
group.
Embarrassing.
Where he could have just not said anything and ghosted away.
Like, sir, we met you 3 times.
He wants you to know how he feels about the situation. But, he's a little bit good because he's made an effort with half the people that he's okay with being friends with. And I want y'all to look at which half he's picking.
Oh wait, which part did you mean?
He said that he said that I still want to be friends with some of you.
Oh, so the people who either in his mind are not visibly, or vocally,
And he's also complained about how hard it is to be a white man at this time,
and people who are LGBT, part of the LGBTQIA, making it their entire personality.
Yeah.
Dare I say, you've made being a straight man your entire personality.
Yes. A straight white man.
Yeah.
Your entire personality. So why are you trying so hard?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not one to be like, oh, women need to be held accountable for the actions of men. But in this instance, I would take out the friendship you have with Jenny. And this is a roommate. And this is a roommate.
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
Issue. You have the person that you are dating and who you're bringing over here has made it abundantly clear that he's homophobic, and that affects me to my core. And he specifically singled out me, and I think he specifically singled out you and your girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you specifically singled us out.
And I don't think that you need to change your behavior based on if he's in the room or not. And also, he's a reflection of her.
That's what I was gonna say. So the whole thing of women shouldn't be responsible for that. I go, well, when you're choosing the men that you're surrounding yourself with, and they're not hidden actions. That's like when someone is like saying something and making a statement, like, and I think knowing something and standing by a man who's going to be awful like that, that's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
That is a choice. Predicting something in the future that you don't know that's going to happen, you're not responsible for that. But that truly does reflect on her. And it doesn't even seem like she's even being a good friend. You said like for the party, like she was like, they were like
in and out of your room.
Yeah.
Which, stay the fuck out of my room.
Yeah. If you're so uncomfortable about sexual jokes, why are you in my room? I fuck in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not so uncomfortable there. Like, ugh, this is just, yeah. He's not your problem.
He is a problem, but he's not your problem.
Exactly. He's a problem. He's not your problem. She is she is your problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if she is a problem. Her response to this will tell you if she's a problem or not. But you have 3 roommates. So I would just say that like at that point, like if you're not comfortable with this, like I would just treat this as a roommate issue.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to figure out how we're going to do this so we all feel comfortable and safe here. And the answer to that is not ever going to be someone who lives there and pays rent leaving. The answer is going to be the person who pays rent there, who's with someone who makes them uncomfortable. You go to the uncomfortable. You don't leave because you're uncomfortable.
I'm also thinking about this is the fact that it was at your birthday party and he wanted you to censor yourself at your birthday party. And then you were saying that you would have done it if you would have known. Don't change who you are for other people's comfortability.
Yeah, especially people you don't don't respect and you don't know. Like it's not like I am inspired by this person and I think there's some merit to what they're saying. It's no, there's not. And he has a lot of fucking audacity to be invited to someone's birthday party as a fucking pity invite because of a roommate's partner making shitty fucking statements and then making the entire thing about him starting a goddamn fucking group chat after your birthday. Like, this is an intention. This is like so many of these like bigoted cis white men. Like the desire is attention. Mm-hmm. The desire is so badly fucking attention. And this is what he wanted. He wants attention. He wants to be the ordeal.
He wants to be the ordeal, and then he wants people to conform to who he is.
Yeah. Or he wants people to fight him. He wants to be involved in all of this. Like him saying, I'm removing myself from the situation.
Just
that is
remove
someone
yourself.
Exactly. That is someone who wants to make a splash. He wants to make a hubbub. He wants people to talk about him. He wants there to be a confrontation. Like he wants you to follow up on this. Like he wants to have given you homework and for you to improve. He wants to kind of have those puppet strings there and you just ignore him. Like he doesn't fucking exist to any of you.
Yeah.
She's the issue that it needs to be dealt with. And her not saying anything or bringing it up, like to me, that's really not okay.
All right, next call.
Hey, Meghan and Melisa. I am 22 and I use she, her pronouns. I'm calling in for kind of a small issue, but something I'd love advice about if you can. It is almost Pride Month, and as a hella proud gay/queer-ass bitch, I am so excited to celebrate all month long. Pride Month for me means Pride Fest/Pride Weekend is coming up, which in my city is 2 days long. It's the parade and then the Pride Fair is what I would call it. For me, every year, this is like a full-blown holiday. Like, it is one of the major highlights of my summer, and I just make it a priority to connect with old friends and catch up and just enjoy the summer day. Enjoy good-ass food, drinks, just like have a good time, you know? But the reason why I'm calling is because last year I spread myself way too thin in terms of a pride group per se. So what I did is I pretty much put every queer friend I have in a group chat and was like, let's all hang out. Like, let's do the day together. This was very exciting for me in theory. Logistically, though, very stressful. Don't want to do it again this year. It was so hard to do because it was just like hard to do what everyone wanted to do. Also, every year there's always 1 or 2 people who like last minute join in and might not have a lot of queer friends. So they don't know my friends and I'm like trying to introduce them to everyone and I'm like running around like a mother hen, just wanting to make sure everyone is feeling included and having fun. But then I'm stressed and I get caught up in like what everyone else wants to do. And I don't know if I just like don't want to do that this year, you know? So I'm trying to figure out how to plan my group this year And I would just want to see what you guys think. How do I make sure that I can see different friends that day without committing to the whole day with all of these people? I want to make sure I have a good time and not overcommit like last year, but also be flexible enough so that maybe if there's someone who has never been to Pride but is interested in going this year can come and like feel safe enough to tag along. Should I take like 2 friends to hang out with and then see others like sporadically throughout the day? I have a friend that I like have gone every year with, and I have like my 2 roommates, which are my best friends, and then there's like my party friends, my high school friends. Like there's different layers and levels of friends. Yeah, for context, I'm definitely the person who like really struggles to plan my own birthday parties because there's all these people and I don't know how people interact. And I'm talking really fast so I can get it all in, which I'm probably gonna get roasted about. I'm so sorry, Melissa. I did write things down. I just lots of thoughts. So yeah, hope this helps. Hoping you have advice. Love you both so much. Have a great day.
You're stressing me the fuck out. Like, daddy, chill.
Dead to me. With love, I don't think you're flexible.
You're not flexible at all. You're a person that likes to plan. And if you don't want to plan this year, all you have to do is just say, I'm going here, and just go, and don't feel like that you have to organize the whole thing. Like it's already an organized event.
They don't need you
don't need to
organize
micro organize within your friend group.
Yep.
Just exist. Like just go, just have fun. Also, Pride is like a month long. And so if you don't see everybody at the fest that you were talking about, throw a brunch later in the month.
Yeah.
Like you seem like you like to plan things even though it stresses you out. Like you can do other things that don't just fall on the fest. Like just go to the fest, enjoy yourself. Don't try to overextend yourself. Just go to enjoy yourself. Calm down.
No, that's a great call. Like you're a planner, and if you can freeball it, like Melissa's saying, and like just not plan, totally do that. If you need to have a plan, then start like the day before, 2 days before, throw a brunch, throw a dinner for everyone to come. And then at the end, throw another brunch or dinner or something like that. Create 2 events that aren't on the same day as the other event, because you're not able to throw it all in those days and you're not going to have fun. And I obviously can't compare to Pride, but to give a only thing that I can think of in a fair kind of way of like putting pressure on one event. I grew up, we had a festival in my town. And I remember in fucking middle school, the idea of like planning like, okay, well, I'm going to see this friend here and this friend here and all this. And I go, but I can also see this friend at school.
Yeah.
Or like I can hang out with them. And it would just be so much pressure that I would then be like, okay, well, I'm going to go meet this person to do this thing here. But like, we're going to get lunch. But like, I already was getting a snack with another person so that I'm not hungry. And like, I really wanted to go do like face painting, and I didn't schedule something to do that. And I thought I would do it in my free time. And I'm now kind of essentially taking meetings with friends as opposed to like doing the things at the event that I want to do. And now I've made the event about a bunch of little mini events that I didn't need to do. I would suggest that like, you don't have to do anything to go out of your way to make sure that other people are going to feel included. If you include people, your job is done. Like you don't have to be like, well, how can I make sure that people know that if there anyone new, you tell your friends like, hey, you go with your roommate, you go with 2 or 3 people and you guys have plans, you know who else is going to be there. And I would just have the people who you're close with, have your locations on your phone. And so if it's like, oh, you're right by here, like, let me go, like go with the flow with that time period and the time that you're there, knowing that this will happen again next year. It'll happen the year after. And when you let people know that like, oh, if you have friends who like are coming, who like don't have anyone, like totally feel free to tell them to come. That's all you have to do to be including is just include someone.
Yes. Like, and Pride itself, this fest that you're going to is about inclusivity, and strangers will be nice to everyone. Like it doesn't have to be like you taking care of everyone.
No, there's no tasks oriented with including, like all you have to do is be kind and include someone. Like you don't have to do that with gestures. You just do that with being genuine.
Yeah.
And this, I think like you said, this is like the peak of your summer. And I think you need to extend this. I think that this can be a really good fun 2 days, but like there's a reason why it's Pride Month. Like you need to maybe it's like a week this year. Maybe next year it'll be like more time than that. But instead of trying to shove everything into a 1 to 2 day span, I think you need to spread it out for your own sanity, because even if these are people you're seeing all the time, but it feels different in the celebratory nature and like what you guys are all doing and just like the vibes, that's completely legitimate. So keep the vibes going and extend that out over like a week, I would say at least.
Yeah.
And I think the first time you do it and you realize like you're still going to have a great time and you might not have seen someone who you wanted to see, you can then make follow-up plans.
Yeah. And, you know, you're not just going to be gay for this month.
No, I mean, the time is not running out. Like,
Black History is not just a month for me. Like, it's not just February. I exist every day of the year. So,
yep. Men's Rights Month, which is like November or something like that. Hell, we know they're wielding that shit for centuries. So I think that there's something to be said about like the jubilant nature of a community, or whether it's like, I mean, you know, Target has their Pride collection, but like even like small businesses will have things where it feels like, I'm not trying to diminish this and I think that, but like Christmas, like when it's Christmas time, there's just it's a visual representation. It's in the air. It's on the movies you're watching. Like it's on the content, like all of this kind of stuff. And I think that there's more opportunity for you to make it a whole fucking month long. And then maybe you'll call next year and be like, holy shit, I started all these other things and now I'm even more stressed. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
But it doesn't have to be a thing, you know?
No,
it can just be, hey, we're all meeting here for dinner on June 28th.
Yeah. And if you're a planner, like how did you spread yourself too thin? Like what was like the course correction? Because for me, I'm not planning kind of person, but every time I plan something and I'm like, oh, I spread myself too thin, I like will do a self inventory. And if it's like, okay, if it was cooking related, like I made way too many things. There were things I didn't really care about that next time I'm going to offload that responsibility onto someone else. Because if it's something of like, you know, I wasn't regularly eating enough, like I didn't feel like I was really tired, then it's like, okay, so we have to fix, how can we make sure we're drinking water, packing snacks, taking a nap during the day? Like there's still ways to be true to your planner nature self and not come out of like a weekend like absolutely wrecked.
Right.
So figuring out what those spots that you could use improvement on and do that.
I'm still frazzled.
No, I know, but you have to say that you have the most infectious laugh. Like you put that in it made me smile. Great laugh. Great laugh. Great energy. Great vibes.
All right, we're going to take another break.
And we're back.
Let's listen to our last call.
Woo!
Hello, Meghan and Melisa. I go by they, them pronouns, and I am 25 years old. That's a lie. I'm turning 26 soon. But this phone call is about my therapist. Let's just call her Barbara, and she her pronouns. I forgot how old she is. So I've been seeing Barbara for almost 2 years now. I've been seeing her for my trauma, my eating disorder, and the general depression, anxiety. I don't know if this is important, but I did find my therapist through psychology.com. But I don't know what the heck happened, like, in March. Something kind of went off with her, like, when she came back from her trip from Mexico for her anniversary. She kind of said something that made me feel some type of way. She literally was like, I went to the land of your people. I'm like, lady, just because I'm Hispanic doesn't mean I'm from Mexico. Like, literally there's other Latinos out there, not from Mexico. And then she literally had the audacity to be like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I know what runs in my blood. So she knows that I'm also struggling with an eating disorder. She like once looked at my thighs and was like, what happened? And I'm like, you know what happened. I'm not eating, you bitch. I did not call her a bitch, by the way. But I wish I did. But one thing that I wish I did call her a bitch, she like looked at me once like, so my therapy sessions are usually right after work. Like I clock out at 3, my sessions are at 3:30. And when I met up with her, she looked at me and was like, you look depressed. I'm like, no. Tired from work? Yes, but no. And then when I told her no, she was like, you don't need to lie. This is therapy. This is a safe space. And I'm like, I'm not lying, Barbara. And then she like looked at me And I was like, I know what it is. You're not wearing any makeup. And I literally do not wear makeup to work or to therapy because I work in a manufacturing company, so it's just going to sweat it off. So what's the point? And my makeup is expensive, so no, thank you. But I was like mad because I'm just like, did this bitch really like made me feel ugly just now? Because no, that is not okay. I literally was like telling her, like, I literally got off work, Barbara, and she was like, did you do like 3 hours like your normal self? And I'm like, my normal stuff. She knows I have an 8-hour shift Monday through Friday job. So I was like, what the hell? So like, how do I like tell my therapist, like, I don't know, I don't want to see her anymore. Do I just like not show up or what? Because my past therapy sessions, my first therapist, she ended up moving to the other side of the state. So she fired me. And the other one fired me because my depression gave her depression. So how do I like tell my therapist I don't want to see you anymore?
I mean, I would.
She sounds awful.
No, I would. I think she sounds awful. I would fully ghost her. I am curious though. You said this is a pretty big shift from her. Like you've been seeing her for a while. She went on this trip to Mexico and like
made a racist comment.
Yeah, and like then started making comments about like your body and like how you look and like not even being correct about things of like, oh, your normal shift, which is 3 hours. And it's like, no, my normal shift is 8 hours. Because I would say if you've had a really wonderful relationship with her thus far and you have a desire to be like honest with her and be like, I don't know what the hell happened. I think you're without a doubt, like I wouldn't swallow that if that's like what you want to do. But if your instinct is to ghost, like fucking ghost.
Ghost. Like I had a therapist who wasn't even as bad, nowhere near as bad as this, but she would like clam onto things that I wasn't what I was going to therapy for.
I fucking hate. I
like,
hate
I'm
therapists
here
who do that.
to talk about this. Why are you talking about something that has nothing to do with this?
Mm-hmm.
And she also would bring up like personal things that she thought, I guess, would make us closer to each other. And I was just like, just made me think less of you. But I didn't say it to her. But why are you telling me personal information about yourself?
It's like some I love when my old therapist, like I loved when she would, but she did it after a long while and in a way that was not more than a sentence. Or when she told me, it was like, based on how you've responded to things I've said, this makes sense to me.
Yes.
That you like, I can tell you understand. And now you've confirmed, like, but you know what I mean? Like you breadcrumb that. You don't just be like, well, I get that because one time, and you're like,
yeah,
no.
But in order to go to therapy, you have to pay for it, or somebody, your insurance has to pay for it. You just don't go, and then you don't pay for it. Just don't re-up. Don't schedule a new appointment. Yeah. Ghosting is perfectly fine in this situation. You are the customer in this situation, and your therapist is providing a service, and you are no longer happy with this service, so you will take your business elsewhere.
Yeah. I've ghosted many professional, like mental health professional, doctor, like whatever. Like I've ghosted. And there's also been times when like my instinct is like, I've wanted to say like, why? And you just have to go with what you want to do. Like ghosting is not the more appropriate manner. Telling them, having a formal email and explaining and like ripping them to shreds is not a more, what was the word I used the first time? They're both equally as valid things. So like there's not one way that's like more professional or more suitable or what you're supposed to do. They're both equal options. It just has to be whatever you want to do, because if you want to chew her out in an email and tell her like this was incredibly, all of that kind of stuff, and you don't do that, that's going to be kind of bubbling there for you.
Yeah.
But if
what's going to be cathartic for you?
Yeah. And if you want to ghost and then you reach out and then you're just like, oh, I'm really not, not to use the therapy term, like emotionally dysregulated, and like this is like heads like really sets me off, and like now I'm super unchecked and like I'm really not feeling like I'm really struggling now, then don't do that. Like you just have to go with whatever your gut is. There's no like way to go about this. The only like actual things you have to do is if they're on auto payments and charges, like making sure those things are being canceled. But other than that, like you just have to whatever's most cathartic.
Yeah. Also, if you never wear makeup to therapy.
No, that's exactly what I was saying. I was like, Did they follow? Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking at you on social media or something. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Very weird. And if you have the capacity, I would also report the fact that they're making racist comments. But only if you have the capacity to do that, because, that's not your responsibility. That's her responsibility to not do that.
All I could think of is that I don't watch the Kardashians, but that sound pops up all the time. Oh my God,
the one I say literally every day.
When
we're in the land of your people. This is not the land of our people. This is Glendale. Melissa, every time I go to Glendale, I say that to Mott's, and he was like, what the fuck is that from? And I was like, oh, I have to show you. And he was like, wait, this is like really funny. I go, no, there's like some very funny moments on that show. This isn't the land of our people. This is Glendale.
That was very orgasmic. You seem very pleased with yourself.
Anyways, that is it for our episode. We hope you all enjoyed. If you want to leave a review, please do so. You can review the specific episode on Spotify. You can review the whole show. You can review the show on the podcast app, Apple Podcasts. We appreciate it. You can join our Patreon and you can give us a call if you want to be on an upcoming episode. And if you have been on a previous episode and we gave you advice, you want to give us an update, send us an email, meganpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us an update. We can call you for an update.
If you're not available to jump on a call, just send us an email.
Yeah.
We'll read it.
We like it. We can, if I take my meds, I can read.
If you'd like us to do a dramatic reading of it, if you wrote it like in like screenplay or play format, and then we could act it out, I would also enjoy that.
We would love that. If you tell me like, okay, character, think Natalie Portman meets Martin Short. I'll be like, ooh, okay, how am I going to tackle this?
That is a challenge.
It's a challenge. It'll be fun. Let me know. People do this. It's just like, oh God, they really are on strike. We're like, desperate. Anyways, anything else?
That's it.
Follow us on social, follow the show on social, and stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed to the show and the feed so you can see the rest of the episodes we release all week. Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production sound and editing by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Giacomo Picasso and Ryan Hunter.
Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the co-hosts of the Let me try that again. Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the hosts of Christmas Countdown Show.
We're so thrilled to be bringing the merriment to you all this holiday season.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be massively merry, gigantically jolly, fantastically festive, as some people might say, Eric. We are all about alliterations, and we are all about Christmas spirit. On Christmas Countdown, we love to count down our top 10 favorite things related to the holiday season. That could be food, movies, music, everything that we all love about this massively merry good time. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you click that subscribe button. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, and we hope that you are too. Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's go. It should be like, let's go, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
Hey, are you ready for some real talk and some fantastic laughs? Join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
We're serving up 4 hilarious shows every week designed to entertain and engage and, possibly enrage you.
In Don't Blame Me, we dive deep into listeners' questions, offering advice that's funny, relatable, and real.
Whether you're dealing with relationship drama or you just need a friend's perspective, we've got you.
Then switch gears with But Am I Wrong, which is for listeners who didn't take our advice and want to know if they are the villains in the situation.
Plus, we share our hot takes on current events and present situations that we might even be wrong in our lives. Spoiler alert, we are actually quite literally never wrong.
But wait, there's more. Check out See You Next Tuesday, where we reveal the juicy results from our listener polls from But Am I Wrong?
And don't miss Fisting Friday, where we catch up, chat about pop culture, TV, and movies. It's the perfect way to kick off your weekend.
So if you're looking for a podcast that feels like a chat with your besties, listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.